Hello, my name is Day. Every Sunday, we have been coming on. We have been having special guests talking about different topics in the dance world, from either dancers, professionals, teachers, parents. This week, we were going to be talking from a parent's perspective about kind of what to expect, how to mitigate stress, how to mitigate stress from a parent, how to also kind of give advice to those that may have never taken their child to competition before or want to get into the dance world. And so we were bringing on Miss Mandi Kay to come and talk.
Hi, my love. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Fabulous. Thank you.
I'm glad you're able to make it on. Mandi Kay, everybody.
In the
Good.
house. Hey, hey.
Exactly. Introduce yourself. Let the people know where you at, what you rep. Like, what are we talking about today?
Oh, gosh. It's been such a journey the last few years, huh? So, originally from, Seattle, Washington area, dance mom for a gazillion thousand years from, I don't know, little tiny BB baby to adult till she aged out, but also teaching during those years as well, voice and dance. So, I've kind of been at all angles. Now we moved from Seattle to big LA and living our best life in LA, having a blast. She's doing fabulous and getting the gigs and doing her thing.
Yeah, I love that. And so I was telling everybody that we're gonna kind of hear the dance world from your perspective.
Sure.
And it's really unique because you've been able to kind of see it in two kinds of spaces and states, and approaches that can kind of bring sort of different questions as far as like what exposure is my kid getting, what opportunities are available. Um, and so we have a couple questions.
All right, bring it.
I think one of my first questions is, what is the biggest way that you are able to support your dancer? What does that support look like? And how are you supporting yourself through that kind of
Oh, that's a good one. I think supporting your dancer is just making sure that they are prepared for the arena. And that's such a big umbrella, right? Prepared via snacks, prepared being on time, prepared being all those things, because all those things add up. So the moment something starts snowballing, it's just stress. It's mega stress. And so, please get not on time is late. Be early. Be early, have the stuff done, have it all laid out. And likewise for yourself, make sure you have your own snacks. Make sure you are prepared with your schedule. I mean, I'm a little over organized, but in the scheme of things, I needed to be. When you're going and you're up at 4:15, 5 a.m. You have their dances to worry about, what you're doing, the schedule, which stage. So the more you prepare, the less stress you're gonna feel on those competition days. Um, and I think that just making sure that the kids are getting rest and you're getting rest, and that's such a good angle, is thinking about yourself, because as a mom, we forget that piece sometimes. So for sure, I'm she's gonna be a struggle if I'm worthless and exhausted, which we're gonna be anyway because we're moms. But yeah, we can try our best to be prepared and take that stress off.
absolutely.
So here is my biggest advice to parents out there is, number one, does your child want to do this? And really listen to them. Listen to them. It is okay if a kiddo just wants to take ballet. That's totally fine. It is okay if they want to take all of it. It's okay if they want to compete or not compete. I think really listening to your kiddo and what they want, because I've seen some kids that, I'm not sure that this is what they want to be doing. So, make sure that this is what they want to be doing. Now, there is a fine line, I'm going to say, with my kiddo did not want to do hip hop, so you have to kind of know when to push a little bit as a parent and as a teacher, because she loved to dance, but she was afraid of hip hop. And so I said, just try it. And she didn't want to try it. She didn't want to try it. And she started trying it. And I was like, oh dear, she's got some elephant feet. Oh, brother. And now she excels in hip hop. That's her one of her favorites. So you kind of have to know that line. So don't be afraid to push them to try new things. But then once they try it, kind of, see how it goes. But I think there's a lot of push for kids to go competitive. And it is okay if kids just want to dance and love to dance. That's okay. So both platforms are fabulous and totally fine to do, but listen to your kiddo, pay attention to your kiddo, and you'll kind of see where they want to land.
Mhm. What are some common mistakes do parents make without even realizing it?
I think I'm gonna put my teacher hat on. I was never that kind of like peer through the blinds and peek through the door that these parents, there's some parents they just want to know, they just have to see, they just have to watch. And I really tried to allow Brianna that space, that growth to have some independence, that growth to gain that bond with her coaches. That's so important in a competitive sport is to give them that space to be an athlete without me, kind of having my mitts in the pot. Obviously, there's times I need to be there and I need to be supporting. But I think that just allowing them to have some independence in their sport and their hobby.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's different than, like, pushing a kid to go to med school, right? I mean, like,
Right.
crunching the numbers is easy because there's a solution, but there's a million solutions to getting to an art form like this, and it kind of it's like a dance, like, you have to allow them to think for themselves while also supporting them in that thinking.
I mean, there was a situation and I was like, "Ugh." My daughter and I are very close. You know that. And we're inseparable. She's my bestie. And there was a dance at a competition. Oh, Princess Crown. They had little crowns on. She did a back handspring and she was sick as a dog that competition and she refused to sit out. And I remember like somehow she like fell on her head on the crown. And as a mom, I was like, oh, I'm gonna let her go. And I like after the dance, the side stage, I was like, "My baby." And she like ran right past me to her coach. And I was like, "Ugh." But at the same time, like kind of proud that she had that relationship with her coach because I think it's important for them to have mentors besides me. It's important for them to have learning, teachers and influences besides me, So although my mama heart was like a little bruised, I think they have to have some of that independence. So let your babies go a little bit and be there as needed, but don't be afraid to let them try the new things and give them that space.
Mhm. How would you, give advice to, like, helping kids manage nerves and stage fright and pressure?
Mm, mhm.
What would you say to parents about that?
I mean, the number one that we always use is excitement and nerves are very similar emotion. So, sometimes if you can kind of tell your brain, number one, there's a lot of excitement as well as those nerves. But number two, allowing them to be nervous. It's okay to be nervous. If you're nervous, that's good. That means you care, right? So if you don't feel anything, then what are you doing here? So I think that nerves are okay. And to teach them to allow that emotion and grow on that emotion so that it gets better, as time goes on. And it does, it gets better. But I think to some degree as a performer, there's always those nerves. I mean, if I'm getting up on stage now, even in my adult year, there's still always that little bit of nerves. So I think they're a good thing to be honest, because we're so passionate about our craft. So
Right.
I think the biggest thing is teaching them it's not a bad thing, you know. It's not a negative, it can be a positive.
That's awesome. I have 2 more questions for us.
Sure.
This is a competition day specific question.
Okay.
What's one of the most important things parents can do to prepare their dancer before competition day? Uh,
You are not going to survive if you did not organize your all those costumes top to bottom from the last comp. If you threw all that stuff in there and left it, like you're going to be a disaster. Have those snacks because there's not time to eat. Have that schedule ready. Know where you're going. All of those things, like I said. Um, but I think prep wise, the biggest thing to me as a mom and as a teacher is teach your children how to not only, I hate saying the word lose, there's no losers per se, but how to also win. I think make sure that you're congratulating other people. Make sure that you're telling other kids, good job. If there's someone that places above you, you high five them and you say, you were amazing today, because we've been on that other side where they didn't do that. And it feels, not great. So we just got to the point where I constantly taught her, make sure that you are killing with kindness and make sure you authentically congratulate people and tell them what a great job you did, because that is the arena we want to create, is for people to love this platform and love what they're doing in this sport.
That part. And following that, what does that post competition day support look like? Getting back into the studio or
Oof.
even the night after. What kind of advice or words can you give to parents about that?
I have mixed feelings about that. Always listen to your kiddo. I'm gonna say that. And then there's times as a mama, when they're like, "Oh, I don't feel good," and you're like, "That girl, come on now, like really." I didn't have a lot of that with her, but you know what I'm saying. Like, listen to your kiddo. And there were times where I was like, uh, enough. But it kind of depends. I mean, do I have a kiddo that's has one dance at competition, or do I have a kiddo that's doing 12 dances at competition and dancing all 3 days from 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. or whatever the case is? So it depends on the level of the dancer for sure. It depends on the age of the dancer. Um, it just really depends on do you have a little bitty? Do you have a teenager and homework? And there's all these things to think about. And school wise, making sure they're not coming home Sunday night at 8 p.m. with 4 hours of homework left because they didn't do any of it. So just be prepared. And I know that it's common sense, but on the teacher side, if you saw what I saw and you're like, why would you do that? Why, what? So, you know,
100%. I think to kind of wrap us up, I want to talk to those parents that are kind of having those students that are transitioning like out of the studio into college now and thinking about dance as like a serious thing.
Mhm.
If what would you What advice would you give to a parent that is maybe hesitant on a dancer that wants to pursue this art full time, and is maybe thinking about giving them a backup option? I know that Brianna did a backup, associate's degree while in high school, which is amazing, and maybe some other opportunities are like that in other places. What would you say to that of someone who's kind of scared about a full time dancer?
I think that I can only speak for myself because I never want to advise others what they should or shouldn't be doing. But I feel like when you have a kid that loves the arts, you are not going to stop us from loving the arts. There's nothing you can do or say that will take me, Brianna, you will not take us from the arts. So I have a choice in that. I can support her in that, or I can go against her in that. In this case, I had her do Running Start, which is what you're talking about. She was able to get her associate's college degree while she was doing high school. And that kind of met my middle ground. It's like, okay, I require that you're going to do this, but I will still support you in your artistic career. So I think there's more ways now, especially with the level of technology and programs available out there today, that kind of allow that. And education is never bad. So even if she decides to do this the rest of her life, is totally fine. And I will support. I've always told her since she was little, as long as you work hard, I will work hard for you.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I didn't get to ask, and I kind of want to see if you want to share if you have any dance experience yourself and what your dance background is like, and like your artistic journey, and what that's been like having a parent and your own journey in that as well.
I did not quite have the support that I gave Brianna, and which is why it was so important to me. I don't want to say that I didn't have it. I think have to remember, I'm pretty like country, or I say Seattle, Washington, but it's because no one knows where we're from, so really small town. There wasn't the level of competition that there is now. My parents wouldn't have even known how to find it, to be honest. So I don't think that support was quite there. And I don't know they would have had the ability to be getting me to all these competitions. Um, so I was in the like the little ballet class over here at some community center, or when I went to college, they made me go to college, but every oh, what do you call that?
Electives?
Thank you. Okay. It's
Mhm.
been so long since I was in college because I'm like 95 now. Like those
No.
those electives, like, I was always trying to fit in the dance class or the drama or, like, whatever I could squeeze in that, would still count, so I was taking that, ballet class, in the ballet room, but it was just some random college course, and, then I just found my way and started singing and traveling and doing that kind of thing, so, yeah, I just found my way and then eventually decided, like, "Hey, I wanna be a physical therapist, that's cool," So, yeah,
Yeah.
but I never gave up teaching and, teaching dance, teaching voice, that sort of thing, so I still got to, stick where my heart was.
Yeah, I think I want to highlight that because there's probably, even a parent or even a person out there that can relate. I can definitely relate to being an artist that didn't really get a lot of support or approval for what I was doing up until probably last year, until there was like tangible proof that, like, oh, you have a degree, maybe you can actually go get a job, or like, okay, you're getting gigs, like you're eating well, like, we can see you're sustaining yourself, and so there is beauty, in having a strong support system and community behind you, even if maybe you have a parent that hasn't been in the arts or been a dancer before, just that level of care and that level of just, "I'm gonna do it for you because I know you love it."
What do you
Can kind
think
of
held back that support? Was it the fear of, as a parent, trying to just make sure you could sustain, or was it they really just didn't want you in the arts and wanted you in something else? Like, what do you think was the fear for your parents in that?
truly
You
the
don't have to answer that, I'm just being nosy.
No, it's a flip interview now, no?
I know. House mean to each other people too, so I just wonder, like, what held them back?
No, right. I mean, it was definitely the aspect of, like, supporting myself. Like, will
Yeah.
you be able to actually eat and survive and make a life,
Mhm,
with what you're doing?
mhm.
And I think it wasn't until they came to my graduation that they were like, "Wow, you actually did it. Alright, we can go places with this."
Yeah, perfect. And I think as a parent, even if you had a 10-year degree, I'm still gonna worry. A 10-year degree in engineering, I don't know. I'm always gonna worry no matter what. So, I mean, if you don't think I don't worry, of course I worry. So, I'm a parent. But it's kind of like one of those, I think of, like, "Oh, mom, I really like this boy," and you can't stand that boy. Like, I
Mhm.
feel like either I can figure out how to, like, get through this, or I can be against, or I don't know. I feel like if they're really, really after something, your heart is in singing, your heart is in dance, your heart is in painting, I don't care what it is, you will find a way. So I can either be a part of that journey or not a part of that journey. I mean, those are my options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mandy. You've been such a pleasure to speak to, and
Oh,
you're
thank
so
you.
insightful.
Oh, thank you so much, Viola. It was so good to see you.
So good to see you too. Thank you, everybody that tuned in today. Again, we will be here next Sunday at 4 o'clock, speaking with our next guest about whatever we talk about in the dance world. I love you guys. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Apple Podcasts.
Lights go low, the stage is set. Oh yeah. Golden glitter, can't forget. Shine, shine. Dancers move, they own the night. Oro dance competition, feel the light.